So, I wish you welcome everyone to the conference on healthy longevity. Dobrodošli vsem skupaj na konferenci o zdravi dolgoživosti. Organizirajo Društvo za vitalno podaljševanje življenja Slovenije. In sedaj bomo kar začeli konferenco. Torej, najprej samo opozorilo, konferenca se snema in bo tudi kasneje dosegljiva na YouTubeu. Takole, zdaj pa najprej par besed o zdravi dolgoživosti, da sploh predstavimo, o čem se gre. Torej, mi tukaj govorimo o temi biološkega staranja in možnosti upočasnitve staranja oziroma celo pomlajevanja. Skratka, želimo biti čim dlje zdravi in vitalni. To pa bi dosegali s medicinsko tehnologijo pa znanostjo in verjamem, da lahko vsi tako ali drugače pripomoremo. Zdaj na hitro v našem društvu, mi smo nevladna neprofitna organizacija, poslanstvo imamo informirati javnost pa pomagati temu področju in tudi vsi ste lepo vabljeni, da se včlanite v naše društvo. Zdaj rad bi se lepo zahvalil našim sponzorjem. Imamo 3 odlične sponzorje, tudi vrhunske podjetja. Eno je medicinski center Kristal, potem drugo je GaiaCell, ki razvija napredne celične in genske terapije. Tretje pa je podjetje Medex, ki je tudi splošno znano podjetje. Potem naše društvo je član Mednarodne dolgoživostne zveze International Longevity Alliance, ki združuje različna taka društva pa organizacije po celem svetu in skupno delujemo v smer tega cilja. Rad bi se pa zahvalil tudi multikonferenci Informacijska družba, ki jo omogoča Inštitut Jožef Štefan, ki nam je dal tudi ta prostor. Tako da hvala lepa tudi njim. Tukaj smo organizatorji konference in za konec mojega uvodnega nastopa bi še rekel, da smo mi prostovoljci in konferenca zahteva stroške, tako da ste lepo vabljeni, da date kakšne donacije ali tukaj v škatlo ali pa na naši spletni strani ali pa na listih v dvorani in boste s tem pripomogli tudi s tem, da bomo organizirali naslednje leto spet konferenco leta 2025. All right. Now I wish to welcome Ilja Stambler, who will welcome us in the name of International Longevity Alliance. Ilja Stambler is a well-renowned scholar in the field of longevity. He is leader of Israeli organization VETEC, who works for the benefit of healthy longevity, and he is board member of International Longevity Alliance and its main representative. So I'm very happy to have Ilya here to give us introductory remarks.
Thank you very much, Martin. It is a pleasure to be here. It is a pleasure to cooperate with you, with the Slovenian Society for Vital Life Extension on behalf of International Longevity Alliance, of which the Slovenian organization is also a federated member, one of the leading ones. My introduction will be very brief. In these few minutes, I will want to impress on you, to convince you about the importance of longevity advocacy and activism for the field of health and longevity, something that we do at International Longevity Alliance, also something that the Slovenian organization does. It's an indispensable, vital part of the health and longevity promotion. Some people only focus on science, only focus on some development project, commercial project. We argue that advocacy, building the ecosystem, building the public support is essential for the advancement of health and longevity for all. The main point of our advocacy is that if you want to prevent multiple age-related diseases, to extend health and longevity, we need to intervene into their main risk factor or underlying cause, which is the aging process itself. Sounds simple, but it is very untrivial thought. It is a change of paradigm in medicine that we advocate for. What it means is that we need to recognize aging itself as a treatable medical condition. And thanks to the advocacy of many organizations, also of our organization, International Longevity Alliance, and allied organizations like by Gerontology Research Foundation, aging was in fact included into the International Classification of Diseases as a medical condition, something treatable that we can address under 2 categories, as a general symptomatics and as a cause of diseases etiology, the so-called aging-related condition or aging-related decline in intrinsic capacity. So now we can address aging as a medical condition thanks to advocacy, another example of the importance of longevity advocacy and activism. And yes, it is feasible, it is possible to intervene into aging to prevent multiple age-related conditions. There are many proofs of feasibility in animal models, also in humans. I don't have time to go into this, but there is a solid scientific basis behind our advocacy. Now, it is our goal as advocates, as activists, to help bring the scientific developments to the clinic, to the people, so people can actually benefit and extend their longevity. And this conference emphasizes not just medical and biological aspects, but also humanitarian aspects. And advocacy is the quintessential aspect of humanitarian treatment of longevity. We want to extend longevity, not just because we want to have more time to eat and drink and have pleasure in life, but we also want to develop as human beings. Longevity, health longevity correlates pretty much with every human value, with education, with intellectual activity, with preservation of human life, with the quality of life, with economic development, with wealth. So if we advance health longevity, we advance the entire human race, entire human species. So that's why we focus on this area as a proxy, as a driver of human development. And even in purely economic terms, extending health longevity is very important for ourselves, for us in these individuals, but also for the entire society. On the positive side, if we are able to prevent age-related diseases, we can basically save the economies of our countries, the healthcare system, the welfare system. We can have massive savings for those systems and develop our economies. On the negative side, if we are not able to prevent age-related disease and extend health longevity, we can bankrupt those systems. We can bring our societies, our economies to collapse merely because of the burden of age-related disease. And in terms of monetary savings, it could be billions, even for small countries like Slovenia and Israel. So that is a very urgent economic task, as well as humanitarian task, to extend health longevity, to prevent age-related diseases. That is the goal of our advocacy. And for any social movement, if we believe some cause is important, some goal is important, we advocate for it, we educate for it. We don't just sit and wait until the results come in our lap. So that's what we also do with the longevity movement, with the longevity advocacy, including the organizations. Everybody can be involved, not only professionals in medicine, biology, but also laypersons, people from social sciences. Everybody can be involved by studying the subject, by getting together with people, and most importantly, by organizing, self-organizing, banding together, getting together with like-minded people, and of course also practicing a healthy and life-prolonging lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, rest, positive attitude. But banding together, creating a movement is very important, and that's what we're doing also with International Longevity Alliance, of which the Slovenian organization is also a indispensable part. There are now 65 non-profit associations working in 57 countries in the International Longevity Alliance. And once again, I'm very happy that also the Slovenian Society for Vital Life Extension joined this family, and we work together also as a leading board member of our organization with Martin, and I'm very happy about this collaboration. Some examples of our advocacy, the Longevity Month campaign that is going on right now. Also, this conference is part of the general global campaign to advocate for health and longevity research, development, and education. Within this particular month, the Longevity Awareness Month, I'm glad that events are being organized in dozens of countries, and through the history of this campaign, they were organized in hundreds of places, hundreds of locations. A very positive example of longevity advocacy globally. And there are some examples of results of this advocacy. Through our advocacy, we're able to include aging into the WHO work program back in 2017. Also, International Longevity Alliance played a crucial part in this campaign. Hundreds of organizations wrote to WHO, and aging was included in the WHO work program. Also, thanks to our advocacy, aging was included, as mentioned, as a part of the International Classification of Diseases, a treatable medical condition. I will not go into details, into intricacies, but already you can see the effect of public advocacy, of activism on research policy and public health policy on the global scale. This is a small example, but this is a very encouraging example for us to continue. Here in Israel, we advance health longevity policies for research, development, and education. We included this topic as a part of the Israel National Master Plan on Aging back in 2019. We helped to issue several calls for research proposals on this topic. of health and longevity, research and development, prevention of aging-related diseases. A very telling example is the cooperation between Israel and the UK in this field, the so-called BIREX aging program, where I wrote the call for research proposals. And I focus on this because exactly the same cooperation as we established with the UK can be established with any other country, between any other country and Slovenia, between Israel and Slovenia and any part of the European Union. So Slovenia, with some effort, can be a driving force for this cooperation in the European Union and globally. We just need to catalyze the process. And we welcome more cooperation. There is a concrete example, a concrete initiative of the Israeli Ministry of Science to establish binational collaboration similar with the UK, but now it can actually be established between Israel and Slovenia. If anybody is willing to discuss it more seriously, I'm happy to get in touch. As Martin knows, I'm very accessible. So as a result of all this joint effort, we hope to advance the field of health and longevity, research, development, education, advocating for this, educating people about this, explaining to people that yes, aging is important. Yes, there are things to do about aging. We can treat it. We can ameliorate the degenerative aging process, prevent multiple age-related diseases, extend health and longevity, and everybody is welcome to join this movement. Also, thanks to this conference. So again, express my deepest congratulations to this conference and wish it the best of success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilya, for introduction from the side of International Longevity Alliance. No, in zdaj imam pa veliko čast, da povabim tukaj gospod Vesno Marinko, ki je generalna direktorica Direktorata za javno zdravje na Ministrstvu za zdravje. Mi smo veseli, da ste se odzvali in prišli, tako da z največjim veseljem, ko bi rekel, govorniški oder je vaš.
Ja, najlepša hvala. Ja, res hvala lepa za povabilo, predvsem Društvu za vitalno podaljševanje življenja v Sloveniji. Res mi je veliko veselje in čast, da vas lahko nagovorim na današnji konferenci. Moj predhodnik je dal dobro izhodišče, zato je prav, da se morda jaz, ko prihajam z Ministrstva za zdravje, vrnem na neke osnovne zdravstvene podatke. Za letošnjo poročilo Organizacije Združenih narodov s podatki o pričakovani življenjski dobi za leto 2023 in 2024 kaže, da se je pričakovana življenjska doba vrnila na raven pred pandemijo COVID-19 skoraj v vseh državah sveta. Tako se je letos pričakovana življenjska doba na svetovni ravni povečala za 0,7 leta v primerjavi z letom 2019 in sicer iz 72,6 na 73,3 leta. Tudi v Sloveniji smo se vrnili na predpandemsko raven. Dečki, rojeni v letu 2022, lahko v povprečju pričakujejo 78 let. Deklice, rojene v enakem obdobju, pa 84 let življenja. Število zdravih let življenja ob rojstvu je za ženske ocenjeno na 69 let in 65 let za moške, kar predstavlja več kot 80% skupne pričakovane življenjske dobe brez oviranosti. Povprečna starost ob smrti je bila v letu 2023 v Sloveniji 78,8 let, kar je 21,6 let več kot leta 1954, ko so bili umrli v povprečju stari 57,2 leti. To je zelo velika razlika, kar kaže na to, da smo resnično postali dolgoživa družba. V Sloveniji moški najpogosteje umirajo zaradi rakavih bolezni, ženske pa zaradi bolezni srca in ožilja. Pomemben vzrok smrti so tudi zunanji vzroki, kamor štejemo namerne in nenamerne poškodbe in nezgode. Na današnji konferenci boste veliko govorili o novih odkritjih in o možnostih medicinskih posegov, ki imajo potencial podaljševanja življenja. Ob tem pa nikakor ne gre prezreti zbranih dokazov učinkovitih ukrepih za dolgo, polno in aktivno življenje, ki jih lahko udejanjamo že danes. Sliši se preprosto. Zdrav življenjski slog z redno telesno dejavnostjo, zadostno količino spanja, uravnoteženo prehrano in skrbjo za duševno zdravje je največ, kar lahko storimo sami za daljše, bolj zdravo in aktivno življenje. Izpostavljam posebej telesno dejavnost, ki je ključna za dolgoživost, saj krepi srčno-žilni sistem, ohranja zdravo telesno maso, pozitivno vpliva na duševno zdravje in zmanjšuje tveganje za kronične bolezni, kot so sladkorna bolezen, bolezen srca in nekatere vrste raka. Redno gibanje povečuje tudi splošno vitalnost, krepi imunski sistem in prispeva k boljšemu počutju in kakovosti življenja v starosti. S telesno dejavnostjo pa se je potrebno redno ukvarjati že od otroštva dalje. Predvsem je pomembna vadba za moč, saj je prisotnost in vzdrževanje mišične mase najboljši obet za zdravo starost. Nič manj pomembna pa ni skrb za ohranjanje kognitivnih zmožnosti in dobra socialna vključenost. Naš zdravstveni sistem danes nudi številne možnosti in priložnosti za podporo ljudem pri udejanjanju zdravih navad, preprečevanju bolezni s cepljenjem in obvladovanju že pridobljenih kroničnih bolezni. Vse te možnosti bi veljalo bolje izkoriščati. Krhkost in kompleksna multimorbidnost sta najpogostejša vzroka zdravstvenih zapletov pri starejših, zato je preprečevanje in zgodnje odkrivanje krhkosti eden od izzivov v zdravstvenem sistemu, saj bodo potrebne prilagoditve procesov zdravstvene obravnave potrebam starejših. In ne nazadnje, prilagajanja bodo potrebna v vseh družbenih podsistemih, saj je potrebno ustvariti okolja, ki bodo bolj prilagojena potrebam dolgožive družbe. Torej, danes imate bogat in zanimiv program konference in verjamem, da bo vsak našel nekaj zanimivega za sebe. Jaz vam želim eno uspešno konferenco. Hvala lepa.
Hvala lepa.